Hi everyone, and welcome to another segment of AstrologyAnswers.com's weekly forecast. My name is Terrence Scardino. The week begins on Monday, March the 9th. And what a big day this is because it's the full moon in Virgo. Virgo is this more analytical, sensible, grounded energy. The full moon brings a lot of matters to a head. Things that have been hidden are more revealed. Virgo has a lot to do with healthcare. You might have heard that Virgos can be very health conscious to hypochondriacs. That's because Virgo is the sixth sign from Aries. Aries is the beginning of the zodiac. So Virgo, or the sixth sector of the horoscope, has a lot to do with healthcare and body maintenance. I bring this up because we're in this coronavirus crisis, and this full moon is bringing a lot of emotions to a head, but it can also reveal a lot of things that have been hidden. However, this full moon is aligned with Neptune. Emotionally, Neptune is this nebulous, foggy, confusing energy. So a lot of things could be surfacing that triggers more confusion. Neptune is also associated with infectious diseases and viruses. So I think as everything is coming to a head, this virus is spreading even more. However, there's very positive indicators that this will all be starting to really subside as we get to April. And I look at that because I see a lot of very favorable financial indicators, and as the fear of the virus has been tanking the stock markets around the world, I see that the economies are starting to look more optimistic and start to grow again in another 3 weeks or so. So that's more than likely if we're feeling more positive about the virus and containing it. Now all the stock markets will go back up and people can go back to work. Part of that also is on Monday, Mercury, decision-making Mercury, what is on our mind, what are we thinking about, had been retrograde for the previous 3 weeks. Mercury in retrograde can give a lot of misinformation, a lot of confusion, misunderstandings. Especially Mercury in retrograde often can build mountains out of molehills as we get really nervous. But now the Mercury is going direct on the 9th through the 10th, and it had been in Pisces, which is ruled by Neptune, bringing all this confused energy, but it will retrograde back as it's going backwards. It just from March the 4th through about the 15th, 16th, it backed into Aquarius. So this much better because Aquarius is more analytical, more detached, more objective, as our minds are starting to look forwards in more practical ways. Now, the moon is in Virgo on Monday with the full moon, but on Tuesday, now the moon has shifted into Libra for a couple of days. Libra is seeking harmony, peace, and balance. There's no other planetary events going on Tuesday, but we're still reeling from all of that with Mercury shifting directions, and the full moon bringing a lot of motions to a head. Well, that certainly even started Sunday, strong Monday, lingering into Tuesday. Wednesday, now the sun in Pisces is going to be in harmony with Jupiter. We might start feeling a little bit more optimistic. Actually, the markets might even start to go up a bit because, if people are feeling that we're getting really close to the bottom of the market, then a lot of institutions, a lot of savvy people will jump in and buy stocks that are at a real bargain now. But emotionally, the moon in Libra seeks balance. But the moon is going to be in a difficult, stressful angle to impatient Mars, over the top Jupiter, compulsive Pluto. So there could be still a lot of moodiness, a lot of ups and downs, but there's also this Sun Jupiter, and so there's still this hopefulness that we're coming out of the worst, or we can see some light at the end of the tunnel. On Thursday, the moon has now shifted into intense Scorpio. And the first part of the day, it's going to be in opposition to Uranus. That could be this emotional upset and a lot of unpredictable energy. But then as the day goes on and the moon passes Uranus, and all that anxious energy is subsiding, then it triggers benefic Venus, harmonious Venus. Good for socializing, good for relationships, any kind of misunderstandings that had come up through the Mercury in retrograde. This is later in the day, could be much more favorable for forgiveness, for getting back on track, especially on Friday with the moon in passionate Scorpio. It's going to be favorable with Mars, Neptune, Jupiter, the Sun, and Pluto. Practically all the planets in the chart are going to be in harmony with that passionate moon in Scorpio. A really good day, the best day of the week for getting back to work, making decisions, starting new projects, starting new jobs, or just overall feeling a lot more confident about where everything is going. On Saturday, then the moon that sets the public tone is moving into outgoing Sagittarius, adventurous Sagittarius, good for traveling. And that will begin in the early mornings, around 3 o'clock in the morning Pacific time. Also on Saturday, now the Sun is in harmony with Pluto, and Mars is in harmony with Neptune. So Friday's great, Saturday even gets even better. Sun Pluto could do a lot of inner work, a lot of healing inner work, but on the outer world, from repairing the home, major house cleaning, with work and career, doing a lot of revising and restructuring, all that's very positive. And the Mars Neptune is very favorable for charity and healing. But on a more pleasurable level, Mars is very physical and athletic, and Neptune is inspiring and musical. It's Saturday night. It would be great for dancing, for going to a concert, being swept away by music and entertainment. On Sunday, now after all that, a couple of days of being on a high after all these lows of recent weeks, now the moon is continuing in Sagittarius, but it's going to bump up against nebulous Neptune around noonish Pacific time. like around 3 p.m. on the east coast of the United States. And so that moon Neptune, for a couple of hours, we could all of a sudden hit a wall and get confused, get distracted, second guess what's going on before we calm down, because as it moves off the Neptune, that moon in Sagittarius is still trying to be more upbeat. Before I sign off, I want to remind you I'm available for a one-question offer for a nominal fee. You can order it through a direct link in the description box below the video. Putting in your time of birth, even if it's an approximate time of birth, is very important. I want to thank you for watching. I hope to see you next week with my next segment. Until then, have a great week.